look, it's the brand new All in the Morning Christmas puppy.
Preview.
Yeah, we're going to have our show on Christmas morning, 6 to 12. But in the run-up to that, speaking of 12, the Allman 12 Days of Christmas. Daily prizes. Blues tickets, Fox tickets, zoo tickets, zoo stuff. And then a big old grand prize. El Monstero tickets, Gulf Shores and movie tickets, Gulf Shores discounts.
Preview.
One day you get a $500 gift certificate to Diamonds Direct. Come on, people.
That.
And don't forget Jethro Tull. He might even sing solstice bells for you. I mean, it'll be the 29th of June, but who knows? You never know. So make sure you go to 97talk.com/Christmas. And then we have also all of the videos we shot, which you're going to love.
So funny.
Entertaining as always. Maria Bartiromo. Looking forward to having Maria Bartiromo on. Maria Bartiromo at Maria Bartiromo. Wow, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's been a hugely busy weekend with the tax plan, and then we had, on Friday, we had the stock market going crazy due to an erroneous ABC News report. By the way, how serious a matter is that when the stock market reacts in that fashion? I mean, obviously it did bounce back, correct?
Yeah, it bounced back, but I mean, this was a serious error, Jamie. And I think the people who never believed that there was any collusion, like myself. I never bought into that. I knew it was a Democratic talking point the whole time. But people saw that and said, well, wait a minute. Let me stop here and think again about this. Did he actually direct Michael Flynn before the election, which would be terrible? And then we find out that it was wrong, and it didn't happen at all. So, I mean, obviously ABC has suspended Brian Ross for that erroneous report. But it was a big deal. The stock market plummeted 350 points because it showed that the markets do not believe there was collusion. And with that report suggesting there was, it was just caught people off guard. So the market plummeted 350 points. And now today we're going to see a complete comeback. Market's up right now about 200 because of the Senate tax plan. Now people recognize that it was erroneous. And once again, it was fake news.
Yeah, and you know what's the saddest part about this, at least as far as for the news media is concerned, even when Brian Ross reported it, I thought immediately it was crap. And that's not a good thing for the news media now, because the bottom line is pretty much you see a Washington Post story here or you see an ABC News story there and you're thinking, nah, I don't believe it. That's not true. And it turns out, of course, it isn't. And that's not a good thing for the media. By the way, then, okay, so moving on to the Senate version, what do you make of that?
Well, I think that the Senate plan, it was a victory that they passed it.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things in this plan that are different than the House plan, and they have to come together in the next couple of days. Now, obviously, that so-called committee conference is going to begin tonight. So they will go through what's in the Senate plan, what's in the House plan, and come up with one piece of legislation. They're targeting getting this to the president by Friday, December 15th. So they have 2 weeks right now to really zero in on the details of each plan and take out take out the things that are not going to make it. So I think, it was a victory that it passed. I'm happy to see that they're actually getting this done, but there are still some real flaws in this plan. First of all, the corporate side of the plan is strong. You've got a 20% corporate rate, although the Senate is trying to delay that for 1 year. I think it's a stupid idea, but if it's going to save $100 billion, fine, then delay it. But, managers of businesses and CEOs want certainty. They want to know that they can invest and hire new workers, and they're going to get a good tax rate, and they want this to happen immediately. So, you're not going to be investing for the long term if you think that this is going to go away in 5 years. That's why it must be permanent. And you're not going to be investing if you don't get it for a year. So I think that, in order to really move the needle on economic growth, we've got to see the 20% or even 22% for corporate as well as pass-through businesses year one. So that will probably change. I know that the House is trying to come up with a lower tax rate for the highest earners. They still have that crazy bubble tax in there in the House plan. and that is it's a rate of 45.6% for income of between $1.2 and $1.6 million. That is crazy, and they are stupid to have this in this plan. So hopefully that goes away, because as I've said, and you and I have spoken about many times, the top 10% of earners pay 70% of the tax. They also outspend everybody else. They spend 60% more than the bottom 50%. So you're talking about the group that pays the taxes and that spends the money. Those are the people you want to cut taxes on, and instead they're raising taxes on it. So that should go. I don't know if it will, but if it doesn't, I think this is really a major flaw.
Well,
so the corporate side of this plan is great. The individual side of the plan is a little more messy.
Well, it also goes to show you, Maria, that, these individuals like Claire McCaskill, these guys who put it out there that somehow this is a tax cut for the wealthy, they know that's not true. And in fact, in my opinion, and in the opinions of many people, it doesn't go far enough in cutting taxes for the wealthy. So that just seems to be, I don't know how they're getting away with that continued misrepresentation.
Well, it's totally disingenuous. I totally agree with you. And it's a Democratic talking point that they will not stop. They keep talking about it as a giveaway to the rich. Meanwhile, the rich are paying higher taxes in this. A lot of people in that category. So, it's not a giveaway to the rich by any means whatsoever. What it does do is it lowers taxes for corporations, and that is called trickle-down economics. You create an environment for business that is attractive, that encourages them to invest, and they will hire more jobs. And create more jobs, and that's what the president is trying to do. So the corporate rate coming down really is essential, but they don't know what to say in order to push back, because the Democrats do not want the president to have any victories. That's
right.
It. I mean, it's the resist movement.
Yeah. So what are you eyeing today? What's our forecast for today looking like?
Well, today you're going to have a rally of about 200 points right at the opening of trading, which is happening right now. You're probably going to have a lot of expectations going toward the rest of the week on jobs. We get the jobs number out on Friday. Right now, the estimates call for 198,000 jobs to have been added to the economy last month. Don't forget, we had 2 quarters of 3% GDP growth back to back. And what I'm looking at now is this tax plan. Once it does become law, I've got analysts and economists that I speak with regularly who are saying earnings are expected to be up between 8 and 10% as a result of the tax plan in 2018. So that's on top of an already pretty good earnings period. So you're talking about double-digit earnings growth as a result of that. That has got to be a good allure for companies to create more jobs.
No doubt. Well, we'll be there with you tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock a.m. Central Time, as we always are at Fox Business Network. They flip between your show and my show. You know that, don't you? On the radio. No doubt about it. And, of course, always a great show on Sunday. But we'll be there tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock, for Mornings with Maria, and we appreciate you spending part of your morning with us.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
All
Always
right.
there for you.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
At Maria Bartiromo on Twitter.